We're being recorded.
Oh, we're doing our recording now. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So it's really simple. So we're just going to flow like conversation.
hmm
So it's just about, I have like a bunch of questions, but we will just naturally flow anyway. And it's just about what self-care means for you. So you know
Okay.
everything and you just get to be you. And you're perfect exactly as you are. And you get to just go with what first comes in your mind and do not worry, do not overthink, be calm and grounded and beautiful.
Mm.
Okay. So it is my absolute pleasure to welcome the wonderful Stephanie Lau, female crisis counselor and meditation coach, and overall just amazing person. Welcome.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for having me and chatting.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So, my first question is, what does self-care mean for you?
Self-care means taking care of yourself. So that encompasses really understanding how you're feeling in any moment and just acknowledging it without trying to judge it or change it. And knowing that it's okay, that whatever you're feeling is natural and it is there for a reason. So even, during those times when you feel down, for me, that means, oh, I get to take care of myself even more because I haven't been in the past. So really just whatever that means. So it could be if I'm feeling anxious or worried, just like getting support or just really nourishing myself and finding ways to do that. Or it could be if it's like sort of like a boredom type of like routine, repetitive feeling, it would be to take care of myself through doing things I love or just being in places I love or talking to someone I love. So just figuring out what the balance is needed and course correcting is what self-care is. And just to really love yourself. So do things that really show myself how much I care about me. Whether that is enjoying a couple of bites of ice cream at the end of the day or making myself a cup of tea, just simple things, opening a window for fresh air. I feel like all that is forms of self-care and self-love and yeah, just appreciating yourself.
Ooh, I love it. And I
Mhm.
love the words that you use, so nourishing yourself. It's so beautiful. And what kind of ways do you nourish yourself for your self-care?
I just really like to have a very clean space, not like super clean, but so making sure everything like my bed is made, my like, maybe even like a bubble bath if I have time, nourishing foods and surrounding myself with things that feel nourishing. So, for instance, music. When I was, moving a lot this past 3 months, I started listening to all this like really peaceful spiritual music, just anything that felt calming. And that was very nourishing for me because my energy felt very a little all over the place with all of the changes. So yeah, just doing that. And then um, self-soothing, I feel like that is also very nourishing whenever I feel like I can't get a hold of someone that I care about because a lot of my friends and family don't live here. So doing things like that to really nourish myself is very wonderful. So yeah, food, healthy eating, smoothies I love, and baking. So I bake like very healthy treats for myself. Um, like gluten-free pancake mixed with like all these ingredients, and then I bake it. So just all of that,
Ooh, it sounds delicious. I'm coming over.
Please do. I have much.
I love it. And so, on a day-to-day basis, do you find that you kind of consciously check in with yourself? Or is it something that just happens intuitively as you kind of move through things?
Yeah, I feel like I do try to check in with myself, especially when I have breaks. I try to understand like what what do I have space for in the moment. So luckily my job right now, there are a lot of spaces. So sometimes I write, sometimes I listen to a nourishing self-development podcast or lecture online. And all those things kind of remind me of who I am, which is someone that's constantly evolving and growing and learning to take care of myself. So yeah, just really figuring out and finding those spaces for myself throughout the day. And even just at the end of the day, I might still be at work, but I'll still step outside with a book and take, 10 to 20 minutes to just read or breathe. And I just love doing that. So yeah.
Ooh, it sounds beautiful, especially in your gorgeous
Yes.
surroundings.
I know. It's very beautiful.
Oh, so when you're checking in and you're
Mhm.
doing that as you go through the day, do you check in like emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, or does it vary on like a day-to-day, moment by moment?
It does actually, because if I'm at work, I try not to check in too emotionally, just so I can stay focused on my job and to understand what the other person needs. Like if I'm on a phone call with someone who needs support. Um, but yeah, if I'm just like by myself, I definitely try to check in fully and just make space for myself. And so that's why I love weekends. That really allows me to like reassess, like, okay, so how was my week? What exactly are my needs right now? And then just, try to meet all those needs the best I can. So yeah, I'm very grateful for being able to know how to do that and then to actually allow myself to do that.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
lovely. And when
Mhm.
you are taking those moments and stuff comes up that you get to deal with, do you also have like a support network that you've built to draw on when you're looking for a little bit of extra self-care?
I feel like I do. Yeah, I do have, I took this amazing leadership course. So I have all of these lovely women and men in my life that I could just, reach out to and tell them, like, I'm feeling a certain way. And then I also have my friends that I am in touch with relatively like every day, pretty much. So I know they would support me if I was in some sort of, breakdown. But yeah, I think the point is to realize when to ask for support, because for me, I think it's easy for me to just be like, yeah, I can handle it myself, versus realizing maybe I do need a little extra help this time. So just recognizing that. And then, so I think the shift would probably be to see if like recurring thought patterns, like if those thoughts are happening too long, like if you're in a negative space for too long, maybe longer than a day, that is when it's important to get help. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And putting that kind of that time limit on it is really helpful, to keep
Yeah.
it managed.
Yeah, but I feel like it's different for everyone. And, um, so I think that was just like something that I try to do though for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. No, and I think
Mhm.
that's great because you're right, self-care is so different for everyone. And the point at which we need support can be really different. So it may be
Yeah.
like a day if it's a feeling, or for some people, if it's a really intense feeling, that time can be even shorter. And then, we get to reach out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you never know. And, everyone's histories are different. So, really understanding your history and understanding when you need support, I think that will actually set you up for success and overall just wellness in general and that self love. So, yeah,
I love it. And all about, like you said, just getting to know yourself, and it's knowing the boundaries and the different self care that serves you the best, in those different moments.
I know. Exactly. I mean, and just even learning about it, like learning from here, learning from different podcasts and different classes, and how you can remember all these things. Because I feel like the more you know, the more tools you'll have at the ready. So then when you do have those moments of like doubt and indecisiveness, you'll be able to draw on that because you already have it, you know?
Yeah. And so, looking back over your own experience of self care, do you recall where you first kind of became aware of self care and what some of those first sort of activities or memories were?
Mm, I don't necessarily recall, but I do remember there are moments in my childhood where I just I just had some sort of presence. Like it would be a beautiful like winter day because I grew up in Wisconsin and there would be snow on the ground and I would be in my, winter outfit and I would just find something beautiful, which was like trees, right? And I just laid on the snow and I looked up at the trees and I would just count the branches or look up at the sky. And I felt so cozy and at peace. And I think maybe my spirit was unknowingly giving these signals to like, hey, nourish yourself through the nature, through the sky, through remembering the simple joys in life that are all around you. They're not that far away. Simple as just walking outside, looking at the sky or a tree, or looking in someone's eyes, and just being present. So I think that presence has so much room for peace and love.
That's beautiful. And I was right there with you in that snow, looking up at the trees. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for joining me. Yeah, it's one of my favorite memories. Very grateful for those little moments.
And when you're thinking about like your most joyful times, is that one of those moments that you recall? And could you share, some others with us as well?
Oh, there's so many. I feel like just playing, allowing myself to be free and to like live in the moment were my favorite moments. So, from like squirting my brother with the water gun in the summer to, yeah, just like being out in nature at parks with friends and just like experiencing the park and the nature and just being um to like at work I used to be in the Screen Actors Guild. I just stopped being in it because I didn't want to pay. But yeah, there was a moment where I was just running and I just decided because it was like a big crowd scene and they were just filming us as a crowd and I decided to like run all the way to the top and just like jump up and down and dance and be ridiculous and that was one of my favorite moments because I was like we have no restrictions in this moment. We could literally do anything within reason. So I was just like, let's do it. And yeah, just like recognizing that inspiration in yourself and just running with it. That those are some of my happiest moments.
That's beautiful. I love it. And just
Yeah.
that freedom just to be.
I know. You have to let yourself go. Stop. Like, I know, like, this is like one of my things that I'm working on and constantly thinking about lately is how to let myself be free to play, to be, to express. I think coming from a childhood of, a lot of trauma kind of stifles that a little bit. And so understanding where that comes from and then recognizing it and then working with it and just knowing that we are safe, we're loved no matter what. So it's time whenever we're ready to just go, to just be.
Yeah. Yeah, just be content with where we are and who we are. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a continual process
Mm.
of learning and unlearning and growth.
Yeah. And then relearning again because we've grown and we've changed.
Exactly. And then like relearning the things we didn't think we needed to know again, but it's like, oh, we're reading it with new eyes and new insight. So it's always new, I think. The more you evolve, everything kind of shifts around you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think the more that we see and the deeper we feel, the emotions, be they happy or sad, we see it more clearly.
Mm,
Hmm.
absolutely. And that it's so important to, we are humans, and I think the more we can understand our emotions and allow ourselves to feel our emotions, the more we can actually have the capacity to experience life. Um,
Yeah.
that's why self-care is so important.
Yeah, oh, completely. And as we take that self-care for ourselves and we top ourselves up, we can go out and support other people so much better.
Absolutely. It's like that filling your own tank so you can fill others and be the light by modeling how it is, not trying to change other people, but being like, yeah, join me.
Come dance.
Exactly. Perfect. I love that. Uh,
Yeah.
I know. I think everyone needs to dance more these days. It's so healing.
Yeah. And freeing as well.
I know. It shifts your energy and it gets you out of your head, into your body, into just the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I mean, that for me is like a great starting point of self-care is just being in that moment. For people that perhaps are coming at self-care for the first time or they're very new to it, is there something that you'd recommend to start with?
Mm, I love listening to audios. So maybe finding, like looking up self care, self love, inner child, audios on YouTube or even like Hey House, the app. Um, and also just affirmations, talking to yourself in the mirror. Um, and although my favorite is probably putting a hand on my heart and my belly and just telling wonderful things to myself, like, I love you, all is well, I am safe, and constantly just like holding myself in that way until I actually feel a shift of that love, that nourishment. So yeah, just doing all these things, and then exercise, eating right, sleeping, all these things kind of work in cooperation for that self-care. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for listening.
Oh, my pleasure. No, it's so enlightening and it's amazing to hear how different people kind of view self-care and what their different experience of it is. It's amazing. because obviously we're all unique, we all take different things from it, and we all get to draw, in different areas. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. I'm happy to share, and I hope it helps.
I'm sure it does. And it's helped me. So that's like step one. Woo! And just as like a parting thing, is there anything extra that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, just remember to take it easy on yourself. We're in this together. You get to have support. You get to learn how to love yourself, and and to know that you deserve to be loved, and you get to love, and it is safe to love. Once you remember that you are loved, and that, it never goes away, it's always there. You just have to grab onto it, sort of like an energy. So tap into that energy and go enjoy and be.
Oh, that's beautiful. And run free.
Run free. Yes,
Have to
thank you.
pull back into that. Yeah.
I know, constantly. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for your time. You are
Of
amazing. It's been
course.
an honor to speak to you.
Thank you so much. I love you, and I love speaking with you because you bring so much joy and love to the world. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you, beautiful lady.